Hey everyone, welcome to another Sunday walk video, except I'm not walking today. I've been battling with this cold for quite some time, and for the most part, I think I'm okay. I've recovered, but man, I get so drained. So this past week, actually the past 2 weeks, I've moved into my new place. This is where I am right now. But every day I've been moving stuff here and there, and man, they tire me out so much. So I'm not completely recovered from my sickness. So I'm not walking today, and plus it's dark and it's cold and it's rainy. So that's why I'm not walking. But regardless, I wanted to create this video for you guys because I want to reflect on 2023. Today is New Year's Eve, so I want to reflect on 2023 a little bit and also talk about some of my goals, my personal goals for 2024. So, reflecting upon 2023, let's start out with that. I mean, 2023, in my opinion, flew by really, really quickly. Really quickly. And it didn't really get exciting until about maybe halfway through. So I don't know if you guys remember, but man, January, February of 2023 was the most depressing. That's when we fell below 20,000. We headed to like 16, 15,000, right? And a lot of bears were calling for even lower, right? 12,000, 10,000, 8,000, whatever. It was a scary time. It wasn't fun at all. And even though from that period on, all the way to about like maybe like June timeframe, we hardly moved, right? Like we were like above 20,000 a little bit, but it just seemed like even at that point, to think that we would end up over 40,000 by the year end was, I don't know, wishful thinking, right? Because it was just so bleak, so depressing, right? But I told you guys, my mission was to hopefully get you guys through without basically giving up, right? Because I've lived through a couple of these cycles, but I gotta admit, 2023 and 2022 were pretty harsh. The longest extended downturn we ever had in Bitcoin's history. Yes, we've seen bigger percentage drops, but the downturns ended much quicker than this last one. So it was tough. It was definitely tough. But what I did was tell you guys to focus on the future, continue to hodl, continue to DCA. That's why I continue to do the DCA portfolio with you guys, even though it looked embarrassing. There were many people that asked me like, why do you show this? Why do you show your portfolio down 55%? Yeah, at one point in 2023 when I was showing my DCA portfolio on Wednesday nights, they were down 55%. I think at one point it might have hit like minus 58%. And it's embarrassing to show it, right? But I wanted to show you guys something that was important. And that is patience. Yeah, when it comes to investing, especially crypto, patience, and also the power of DCA, dollar cost averaging, right? And throughout 2020, basically I've been doing that since 2021, mid 2021, 2022, 2023, and up until this week. Yeah, last time I showed this week, it was up like 30, 32, 33%, right? So again, I was trying to show you guys prove a point, and it worked. And a lot of you guys have told me the same thing, that you continue DCA, you didn't panic sell, you continue to hodl, right? And now you're in the green. So it's awesome, awesome. So 2023, in many ways, even though it started out really scary, we didn't really see an upturn until maybe around June timeframe, and then we kind of cooled off a little bit, and then October hit. That's when October really like moved the markets and got people excited again, right? Overall, 2023 wasn't bad, right? We got through the worst times together, and now we're entering the bull market, right? Obviously, I would argue that we already entered a bull market even from like the early days of this year. But now I'm talking about the fun part, the parabolic part, because we're approaching the halving event next year, and after that, that's usually when it gets really good. But 2023, obviously, like I said, it was tough. It was long, but we got through it. And I don't even remember all the up and downs, right? That's the beauty. That's the beauty. Once you DC it long enough and you hold it long enough and you see the greens come back, you just kind of forget about it. 2020, I don't even remember 2022. I mean, I remember all the black swans and collapses, but like outside of that, like I didn't even remember like what happened toward the end of 2022, leading into 2023, and then I remember bits and pieces of 2023, but all I remember now um, is the gains, the gains, right, from the past 3 months. So 2023 flew by. Again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Those of you guys that have lived through 2022 and 2023, even if you got in at the beginning of 2021, right? Or I mean, the peak of 2021, um, and it just seemed like it was a mistake. That you should have sold out, you should have got out. Holding was a mistake, right? Those of you guys that had those thoughts, hopefully now you don't, because now you are in the green and you're in the profit, and you realize that hey, that was even though that was bad, maybe at the time, but now it turned out to be a really good thing, right? So that's what my hope is for any of you guys watching, that you learn an important, valuable lesson, and that is when it comes to crypto and investing overall, the longer you hodl and the more you DCA, the more you profit in the end. It's really that simple, right? So 2023, overall, I think it was tough, but rewarding, right? Especially the latter half of 2023. But as we enter 2024, I think um, I think 2024 and 2025 are going to be spectacular in ways that we can't even imagine. And here's the thing. I've said I've lived through many cycles before. All those cycles were primarily driven by retail. We haven't gone through a cycle where we see institutions really get involved. We've seen Michael Saylor get involved since 2020, but he was kind of like the lone person, and MicroStrategy was a lone company. But now it's no longer the case. 2024 happens when we get spot ETFs. Things are going to be different. The landscape is going to be completely changed because of the institutional players coming in. And these guys, their playbook is not like retail's playbook. Um, they tend to invest long term. They're not in it for short term gains. A lot of these guys, once they invest, they hold for decades. And a lot of these guys are like funds themselves, like retirement funds, pension funds. Um, and they have to be focused long term, right? Because they're using people's money and they're trying to maximize gains in a conservative way, not to crash, but also give rewards, right? And they're focused on long term. And all these guys, and then plus you got the companies outside of MicroStrategy. They're all, a lot of them are sitting on cash piles, like huge, gigantic cash piles, and they realize that it's just going to waste unless they do something with that money. They're wasting it because, again, inflation is robbing them. Inflation robs everyone, and they have to prove to the shareholders that they're doing something with that money. Otherwise, it's just going to waste, right? So not only you have the funds, but you got other companies that are trying to diversify, trying to add things to their balance sheet that actually makes sense, that could give them the biggest returns, yet still give them that conservative position. Um, and that's Bitcoin, right? So you got funds and you got companies, and then of course you got a lot of wealthy individuals. You got family offices, a lot of VCs and hedge funds. They're all looking to enter the space, and that's why in 2024 it's going to be so different than before. Prior cycles, the 2021 peak and 2017 peak and 2013 peak, again, they were driven by retail And then you could say some whales, okay? But man, this time around is going to be different. So I'm very, very bullish on 2024. Of course, I could be completely wrong, but I don't think I am. You know, um, you know, like I'm at this point in my life where um, I'm putting a lot of two and two togethers, right, and coming up with a conclusion. And based on my experience and based on what I have gone through before, and based on what I'm covering every day on my channel, right, putting it all together, I just don't think that I'm going to be wrong about 2024 in terms of institutions coming in. They will bring massive amount of liquidity. It will drive Bitcoin to new heights. I'm almost certain that at this point that Bitcoin will be higher than its previous high of 2021, which is 69,000, before the end of 2024. I'm very certain of that now. And who knows how high Bitcoin will go in 2025. But I do honestly believe that is coming in 2024. We just have way too many things going on. The spot ETFs, the institutions coming in, then you got the halving event, and you have the presidential election, and you have the Fed cutting rates, and you're probably going to see many others like SEC losing more lawsuits, like against Coinbase. That will be a massive thing. Um, there's other things too. There's other things we can't even predict. Even like Elon's X could introduce crypto payments within X, and who knows what other institutions may embrace or adopt, Bitcoin and crypto or ledgers or wallets in some way, right? 2024 is just going to be absolutely massive. So looking forward to it. All right. So with all that said, I said I was going to talk about my goals, right? My goals for 2024, and it's not just investing goals, but I'll talk about some of that. First and foremost, in terms of me personally, my health, I'm definitely going to put a big emphasis on getting healthier and dropping the weight. So it's been something like throughout my life, I've had my up and downs. Like, ever since my 20s to my 30s, I have gone through many extreme diets. I have at one point in time after I got married, I was about like 230 pounds. Within a year's time, I dropped to about 170. That was just through strict dieting and exercise, right? And then after that, I've gained weight back, and then I've gone through a couple other stints of extreme dieting where I go on keto or I go on Atkins, and I would drop like 20 or 30 pounds, get back, right? So I've been through it, but the problem is, and I think you guys know, when it comes to dieting, you got to change your lifestyle, really. Otherwise, you just kind of gain it back, right? But I've been through it. I know what to do. I know the exact science and everything that comes with it. It's just a matter of having that dedication, right? And that's been tough. And I did have a little bit of success the last few months, and then the travels kind of disrupted that, and the moving disrupted that. But in 2024, that's going to be a big emphasis for me, is to drop a whole bunch of weight and get healthier. Also, like things like being more consistent with exercise, sleeping more, maybe drinking less. Yes, drinking less. All that stuff, right? I'm in a position where um, I don't need to work as hard as I do, but I do because I enjoy it, and I feel like um, I need to, in a way, right? So having that kind of like work-life balance, I'm in a position where I could do it extremely well, but I don't because, again, I think I choose to work too much because I do enjoy it, and I want to just grow the CRU brand, right? But I do feel like in 2024, I need to concentrate on other parts of my life. For example, my health, right? I'm not getting any younger. Every year that goes by, I'm getting older and older. A lot of you guys could relate to this, so I definitely need to concentrate on that. Also, I mentioned about family too. My kids, now they're getting used to this new house, which is significantly bigger than before. I like to spend more time with them. They have their own schedules, right? With the school and then all the after school activities and stuff like that. would like to participate more in their life before they get too old and they get out of the house, right? So that's part of it, and just overall, just being able to do more with my life now that I can do more with my life, like to have that balance, so to speak, right? Try to get that back. But anyways, so my goal, one of my major goals in 2024 is, getting healthier, the work-life balance also. I think I need to adjust that a little bit. And hopefully, because there's so many things I want to do. I actually want to push further into other things that have never been done in the space. I still want to do it, but I just want to be conscious of the fact that I don't want to overwork myself to the point where it's harming me in other areas of my life, right? So that work-life balancing, that's also another goal for myself. Um, Outside of those two, the personal stuff, short-term stuff, the house, there's still a lot of stuff that I need to do here. Like a lot of those stuff we didn't move yet. My Lego room that a lot of you guys enjoy. I'm going to show you guys that after it's kind of complete, because right now it's like empty. We just got to move a lot of stuff, right? A lot of little stuff here and there. That's like short-term stuff. But yeah, even though the house, we've kind of gotten used to it a little bit after staying here for a couple of weeks, it's still a big change, and we still have to move a lot of little stuff. So that is something still in play. Outside of those, like, let's go talk about the channel and investing overall in terms of my investing goal. I'm expecting a 10x with my portfolio. I think that's realistic. I don't think Bitcoin itself will do a 10x in 2024, but I think everything else, all the alts, especially the big caps, the ones I talked about a lot over the last few months, and the mid caps, I think they could easily do a 10x within 2024 alone. We're not even talking about 2025, right? So my goal from my investment standpoint is to do a 10x in my portfolio. And then we'll see how we do in 2025. But I think that's my goal. Now, am I going to do anything differently with my portfolio and my investing strategy? Not really. Continue to hold what I have, right? I might add in a few more. Sometimes it's okay to be a little bit more nimble and dynamic and buy in coins that are definitely gaining strength, gaining momentum. There's nothing wrong with that, but staying with your core, obviously, right? The 50-25-25 rule. Of course, you can deviate from that, but that's worked well with me. And I try not to go too off. Sometimes, just like everyone else, I FOMO into something, and and that's fine. But as long as it's a small portion of the portfolio, it's fine. Things that I will add or do to my portfolio to help it to do that 10x. Number one is add memes, and I know you guys love memes. Some of you guys do, not everyone, but add in little memes, because if they do well, they could definitely carry a portfolio. So that's going to be something new. Also, I'm playing a little bit with leverage, and I've posted some of my leverage gains, right? On X, I mean, with leverage, you got to be careful. With memes, you got to be careful. They're both super high risk, super, super high risk. But the rewards sometimes are worth it, right? You just have to know what you're doing, take it slow. Again, small percentage of your portfolio. So that's something else that I'm doing myself, right? And I think those two little things, compounded with what I have and what I'm holding and what I continue to DCA, I think that 10x goal is really reasonable. So that's something else in terms of my investing. And then as for the channel, my goal is to, I don't know, I think this is maybe too ambitious, but I love to hit 1 million subscribers on Cryptosrus this year, this coming year, because it's not 2024 yet, but I'm about 680 now, right? So closing in at 700 to make 300,000 subscribers, so within a year. It could happen, if things get hotter, but right now I'm growing pretty well. And I love to get to 1 million subscribers, and I love to do more. Like right now, it's pretty consistent, 2 a day, weekends, 1 a day, right? But I'm shifting the content. I'm still always going to talk about Bitcoin, but more focused on alts And you guys are enjoying it because the views are going up, the sub counts are going up. So I'm going to focus a lot more on alts, not only the established ones, but a lot of the newer upcoming ones that can be doing that 10x or more in 2024. Definitely going to do that. So that's something for sure that I'm going to be concentrating on, is to grow the channel as much as possible. That's a goal. But not only that, all other socials too, my X and Instagram and TikTok, also my Patreon newsletter and the Holder's Herald free newsletter. I think we're improving, me and my team are improving those, trying to get those to grow as well. So basically grow on every aspect. And I want to introduce new videos that are unlike anything else out there. It's completely different. My team and I are very excited, and this involves Houston. Some of you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's going to be wild. I have so many ideas now that I'm in position where my portfolio's up and the channel's doing well. I'm able to try new things, and I want to introduce new type of content that's completely different than what everyone else is doing. And I'm talking about like completely different. There's no one else in crypto space doing anything like this. So yeah, I want to push the envelope a little bit and produce new content and see how it goes. Also, it's not just the main channel. I want to grow. My clips channel is doing very well, naturally, organically, but I also want to make a big push for CRU Plus. Try to get new hosts on there. Try to get the content to be absolutely fantastic and have that channel grow on its own and do very well in 2024. So that's another goal of mine, right? So overall, a lot of things in play to grow the brand. But relating to back to one of my first goals is, even though I want to do all these things, I still want to try to balance my life a little bit so that it doesn't disrupt other things in my life. But I think I could do it. I think I could do it. I just have to figure out how to balance everything. All right, I think that's pretty much it in terms of my goals. Get healthier, more fit, work-life balance, right? Investing and also channel. Those are my four things. Um, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know about you guys, but I had a really good 2023. I wish you all happy New Year. I hope that you guys. I hope you guys killed it in 2023, and I hope you guys kill it some more in 2024. And if you guys have any goals you want to share, please make sure to do so in the comments. But otherwise, I will see you guys in the new year in 2024, and we'll see how it is. All right, guys, have a good one. Take care. Bye bye.